Defining innovation. Well, I was actually looking this up last night.
In my mind, it's about using knowledge to do things in new ways.
Thinking anew, coming up with new smart ideas.
The essence of innovation is to be available and thinking of how to do something new.
Innovation is all about creating, about using knowledge and information and ideas.
Innovation is terribly important because it's all about delivering practical results.
It is export orientated, it creates jobs and it earns wealth for the country.
The discussion has a focus on enterprise and job creation, but I think it's important, it's much broader than that. It has the implications for every aspect of our society.
Innovation requires lots of disparate elements to come together successfully. The task force itself brings together the various interests who have to cooperate if things are to happen. How we've done our work has involved not just the members of the task force, but many others who have an interest in what the task force was asked to do. People have, I think, stepped up to the plate and brought forward recommendations which are challenging, which won't all be easy to implement, but which represent a roadmap.
As a small country, we're very much outward looking. A lot of our people have got abroad and got experience abroad, so they're genuinely internationally experienced.
Historically, we're well known for finding creative ways and creative solutions to problems, bucking the trend. And I think that's exactly what innovation is about in business and in any other sort of aspect of life.
Ireland has actually very significant strengths. Government policy and enterprise policy over the last few decades has been very successful in being able to attract the world's most innovative companies into Ireland.
We went to some other places, and when we came to Ireland, it was a completely different experience. So you have this incredible ability to work internationally from one location, which if you're trying to run a business is incredibly efficient.
My experience over the last 5 years is that if one thing that characterized leadership in government and the industry in Ireland is the ability to listen and ability to be flexible and adapt. Therefore, it creates a environment of partnership which is absolutely necessary.
By having a dedicated research and development centre and learning centre, we are, and I'm saying this for definite because we've done it, we are providing a facility to process the ideas, to give feedback to people on the ideas, which is a great learning process, and then to actually apply those ideas and develop the product in a meaningful way.
Most people, when you talk innovation, they think of R&D and product development, and our approach is quite different. We believe everyone in the organisation can be innovative and can contribute by being innovative. So we encourage everyone within their own space to come up with good ideas that will help improve the service they're providing, either to the next person internally in the chain or to ultimately to the customer.
The fact that we have so many overseas multinationals in this economy gives us a fantastic foundation for a number of reasons. One is they can become a channel whereby with indigenous products from companies locally, they can become a channel to a global market. Another is that we can take unused intellectual property from inside those multinationals and license it out to startups. A few of the multinationals are doing that. And then significantly within the multinationals themselves, there are opportunities to work across different sectors.
The opposite of innovation is stagnation. And if we stagnate, we know what's going to happen. The rest of the world will move on. What we're offering will become stale and unnecessary.
We do have to take this country to a new level. It's people that will do that. Creative people who are willing to take risk. That's what we're looking for.
The three key ingredients in the job we have to do nationally over the period ahead are going to be around smart people, smart ideas and an enabling environment.
The critical recommendation of the task force is that we look at the innovation challenge as being about the system within which innovation happens. It's that which has to be encouraged and fostered, and by getting the combination right, having a consistent approach between public policy and the needs of the market, that we can make things happen.
We're seeing universities thinking about how they can be more creative, both about how they work together and how they work with enterprise. So we have a number of strategic alliances that are now being formed between our universities so that they can work smarter and more effectively And a critical part of those alliances as well is that they include an outreach element to the enterprise and the commercialisation sector.
The competition is moving fast, so we have to change our game. This focus, this new focus in innovation, will help us to build on the success of the past, and the recent past in terms of building very strong research and development programs, but applying those, commercializing those discoveries quickly, producing a new breed of graduates that will drive that whole agenda. So again, it has to be game-changing.
Finance has a huge role to play, particularly venture capital. When your only asset or your biggest asset is your intellectual property, banks aren't going to lend to you. It's going to be very difficult to secure finance, and that's where venture capital has a real role to play.
The opportunity is to attract foreign risk capital in here in the way that we attracted foreign direct investment in the multinationals. That means that one of the tools that the entrepreneur needs, the capital, is available to them to grow their companies, to develop their products, to transform their businesses, and to acquire other businesses.
There's huge potential to encourage small businesses, startup companies and individual entrepreneurs who have an idea, whether they be in another European country or indeed further afield, to locate to Ireland, because we're creating the conditions in which they can be successful and out of which they can realise their own global ambitions.
It has a real opportunity to be this innovation hub for Europe. People think that's quite a lofty goal, and is it achievable? But for me it is. As a country, we're well placed geographically. Our current position in various industries is excellent. And all we really have to do is achieve a position where if someone's thinking of setting up a business in Europe, they're thinking first of Ireland. And I think there are very many ways that we can make that happen.
I think one of the things that facilitates Ireland's claim to a reputation as an innovation hub is actually its size and the flexibility that that affords. If I take an example in the IT industry, if you're in Silicon Valley, people see each other very much as competitors. Here in Ireland, you'll find that the plant managers or the heads of the Irish operations, they'll regularly meet with each other, exchange ideas, that sort of openness that breeds an innovation hub.
Government policy has got to be part of it. The venture capital needs to be part of this. The general attitude of the country towards this needs to change. That's a cultural change, and that perhaps is the most difficult part.
I think it's really critical that we see a mind shift in culture here in Ireland. We deny failure. We actually need to embrace it and realise that if we're going to be successful, we need to take risks.
What we really want to see is thousands of companies starting up, small companies with ideas and big visions for the future. But it's only out of the thousands of companies that we'll get the hundreds that get to the next stage, that raise venture finance, that get to the 10 companies that achieve global scale growth, down to the 1 or 2 companies that are truly dominant in their industries. And that's the sort of ecosystem that we need to create.
We cannot be average, because being average would mean that our standard of living should be average, our expectations and everything else should become average. And I don't think we are fixed at that level of ambition. Ireland can do this, and there is a gap at present to be the international hub for innovation.
We have to move as quickly as possible to be innovation leaders on the international stage. This is an international game, not a local game.
This report can start a discussion now across the country in relation to the importance of creativity and innovation. I think this can start to change mindsets.
We have all of the ingredients already in place. In many respects, what's required is to align them, make them consistent and coherent, implement the roadmap or pursue the roadmap with pace and ambition, and with a clear eye on the prize.